After Lucario entered the Mega Evolution contest condition, his momentum soared. Attracts the attention of Sabrina in a berserk contest condition. Stretch out a plain hand. Alakazam immediately burst out with huge psychic energy. Use a psychic Psycho Cut. The invisible psychic energy transformed into a pure white sharp blade. Attack the incoming Mega Lucario. Mew Lin's voice came, Xiao Ou, block. Luca, Mega Lucario's arms are in a parry position. Face Alakazam's Psycho Cut head-on with an Orberg cast body. Lucario is a combination of fighting and steel. It will not be restrained by the super power system. Although resist a move Psycho Cut, as far as Lucario is concerned, it doesn't hurt much. But the impact, forced back Mega Lucario. Obviously, Mew Lin had expected this. Then he said, Xiao, extreme speed. Luca, the power of the Mega Lucario waveguide overflows. Blast a hole in place. A stronger impact erupted. With bursts of sonic boom. Attack on Alakazam again. Facing the powerful attack of Mega Lucario, Sabrina subconsciously commanded Alakazam, intercept. Alakazam keenly caught the direction of Lucario's advance. Immediately burst out invisible energy, forming a transparent light screen. In front of Lucario. It's now. Mew Lin saw Alakazam's attention. Totally captivated by Mega Lucario, quickly ordered, Darkrai. Dark Hole. Darkrai, who has already been ready to go, is constantly gushing out evil energy. Obtrusively, in front of Alakazam, a black hole of another dimension appeared. In the black hole, stretched out more than 10 pairs of black hands. Bluntly maintain reflect. Alakazam, who kept Mega Lucario from approaching, was dragged in. Darkrai's powerful exclusive skills. Pull Alakazam's consciousness into the compulsive sleep contest condition at once. At the same time, Lucario, without the light screen restriction, also crashed into Alakazam. With a bang, the ground was sent flying more than 10 meters away. Because Alakazam is under attack, Sabrina under the berserk contest condition kept screaming piercingly. What? The spirit of violence. When you want to merge into Alakazam's body again. Mew Lin appeared behind her, using his hand as a knife. Cut on her neck. The neck was attacked, and Sabrina's body immediately went limp. With Sabrina limp on the ground, everything around is quiet. Mew Lin gently put Sabrina flat on the ground. Sit next to Sabrina and observe her. Sabrina, who passed out, did not improve. Instead, his lips were pale and his brows were wrinkled. A look of pain on his face. Mew Lin stretched out his hand to touch Sabrina's forehead. At the same time, go through the force of Viridian and investigate Sabrina's current situation. The power of chaos. Although Sabrina has awakened superpowers, she can't control them. Find out what happened to Sabrina. Mew Lin activated the 3 divine powers in his body, and helped Sabrina calm down the riot in his body. Gradually, Sabrina's brows loosen. Although the lips are still pale, at least they no longer show pain. Maybe it's feeling comfortable. Sabrina, who was in a coma, turned over on her own initiative. Getting closer to Mew Lin's side. It's a pity that Xiangyu is in my arms, so I don't have the heart to taste it. Bean-sized beads of sweat slid down both sides of Mew Lin's cheeks. The frequent use of the 3 divine powers exhausted his physical strength. Okay. Until Mew Lin's clothes were wet with sweat. Finally helped Sabrina calm down the scurrying superpower. At the same time, a system prompt sounded in Mew Lin's mind. Congratulations to the host, you have completed the task assigned by the system. Black belt has been issued to the host's backpack. The host, please pick it up by yourself. Finally finished. Xiao U's potential can be raised to a 3rd level god. Mew Lin took a breath and looked excited. Just when Mew Lin was feeling excited about completing the system tasks, a female voice came from behind. Thank you. Mew Lin turned his head immediately, and Sabrina had woken up. A pair of big eyes stared straight at him. The two did not speak. I am most afraid of the sudden silence in the air. In order to break the dull atmosphere, Mew Lin spoke first. Then what? My name is Mew Lin. Sabrina looked directly into Mew Lin's eyes and murmured Mew Lin's name. Mew Lin, my name is Sabrina. You saved me just now. Seeing Sabrina return to normal, Mew Lin nodded. Immediately afterwards, Sabrina stopped talking. Looking straight at Mew Lin, he seemed to be thinking about something. Being looked at by Sabrina like that. Mew Lin thought there was something on his face, so he reached out and touched it. A little awkwardly said, Then what? Before he could speak, Sabrina stared at Mew Lin. Suddenly said, Mew Lin, stay with me. What? What's the meaning? Mew Lin really doesn't understand Sabrina's brain circuit. The black question mark on Mu Lin's face. What do you mean we are together? Mu Lin picked his ears, thinking he didn't hear clearly. Don't understand. Sabrina seemed to think about it for a while, and continued. That's getting married. Yes, it's marriage. Marry? Good guy. Mu Lin calls it a good guy. Not long after we met. Did we get married? This is a plot where the hero saves the beauty, and then the beauty agrees with her body? Sabrina can't be head what, can she? Mu Lin is seriously suspicious. Sabrina is now delirious. To say such nonsense. Seeing Mu Lin's surprised face, Sabrina said slowly, since I was born, I have found that I am different from everyone. I used to think that only I was special in this world. But you are different. You and I have the same attribute energy. You and I are the same kind. The same kind should be with the same kind. Having said that, settle down a bit. As if organizing his words, he continued, and the energy in your body makes me very comfortable. It can suppress the restless energy in my body. So, let's be together. Mu Lin. Sabrina's brain circuits are a little weird. But I have to say, it seems that there is a bit of a road. I can't be with you. I have a fiance. Mu Lin refused. Fiance? Sabrina seemed to be thinking. Have a fiance? So what? Sabrina asked suspiciously. I'm with you. What about your fiance? Good guy. Sabrina's words made Mu Lin resound a famous saying. Destroy you. What does it have to do with you? And there's something wrong with Sabrina's words. What is similar? As far as Mu Lin knows, the person who is looking for the calendar of superpowers. Not just Sabrina. Elite Catalia in the Sinnoh region. Olympia, the curator of the Carlos region. They also have superpowers. It's just not as easy to explode as Sabrina, if you follow Sabrina's theory. Doesn't Mu Lin also want to be with them? Catalia is okay too. Olympia. Forget it. Mu Lin knew Sabrina because of her special physique. She rarely communicates with others, even facing her parents. Sabrina also closed the door of her heart early. Nature does not care about the ethical issues of society. To this, Mu Lin could only patiently explain. The premise of marriage is to establish the mutual understanding between the two parties. It's not that if two people have something in common, they can marry casually. Just when Mu Lin was trying his best to explain. Suddenly, Sabrina interrupted Mu Lin. Here she is again. At the same time, he turned his head and looked into the distance. The look is full of chills. Okay. As soon as Mu Lin activated the three divine powers, he was keenly aware that someone was approaching in the distance. Asked. Who? Sabrina said with a frosty face, Ariana. One of the Rocket's 4 generals. She wants me to join the Rockets. If I reject you, you want to kill me. Taking advantage of my discomfort, attack me. Cause the superpower in my body to run wild. Yeah. Mu Lin nodded, after Sabrina's explanation. Probably guessed the beginning and end of the matter. In the comics, Sabrina does join Team Rocket. Just this merged world. Sabrina didn't go that route. Alakazam. Sabrina waved to Alakazam, who was resting in the distance. Who? Alakazam floated to Sabrina a little weakly. Sabrina after a psychic riot. And Alakazam, who was defeated by Lucario and Darkrai combined. The situation is weak. There is absolutely no possibility of a war. Just when Mu Lin was about to speak out, the system beep sounded again in my mind. Congratulations to the host for triggering a system random task. Mission objective. Kill Ariana, one of the Rocket's 4 generals. Asterisk. Task reward. Evil Z Pure Crystal. Task punishment. None. Evil Z Pure Crystal. An item that allows evil Pokemon to learn evil Z moves. Whether the host has received the task. Receive. Mu Lin replied in his mind. Then he said to Sabrina beside him, this Ariana, leave it to me. Sabrina didn't speak, just took a deep look at Mu Lin. Then he took Alakazam and retreated behind Mu Lin. Xiao, Darkrai. You hide in the dark and listen to me later. Lucario agreed, held back his breath, and hid himself in a bush. Hiss, Darkrai fades his shadow-like body. Sneak into the ground silently. A fiery red-haired Ariana reappeared around the hot spring. Seeing Sabrina intact. No collapse from psychic riots. Can't help being a little surprised. I saw the handsome Mu Lin next to Sabrina. He frowned even more. He said indifferently, who are you? Mu Lin glanced at the other party indifferently, with a hint of unsatisfactory expression in his mouth. He said, Mu Lin. Mu Lin? Ariana repeated Mu Lin's name repeatedly. After thinking for a while, I remembered it. He said in a slightly surprised tone. Are you the professor of historical research in Sinnoh region? That's right. Mulin said calmly. At the same time, through the power of waveguide. Give orders to the 2 Pokemon that are in ambush. Do it. Knowing Mulin's identity, Ariana was thinking about what to say. Come to recruit Mulin to join the Rockets. Sudden. She felt a sense of extreme danger in her heart. To the side, a Lucario shakes its fist. Behind him, a shadowy group of Pokemon condensed black energy. Ariana serves as the senior executive of one of the Rocket's 4 generals. Often have to complete some extremely difficult tasks. In the face of a sudden attack, the reaction is still very fast. Throw 2 baby balls quickly. Released her Pokemon. Elite Intermediate Honchkrow. Audiobook for the Elite Mid-Tier. Face the oncoming attack. Ariana had no time to give specific orders. Can only generalize. Honchkrow, Audiobook, protect me. You, Abby, when Ariana's 2 Pokemon stand in front of her. Lucario, whom Mulin preempted, has rushed to the front. Luca, a flickering white light condensed on the fist. With a move of Meteor Mash, he punched Honchkrow in the face. In order to achieve the effect of killing in one hit. Mulin also let Lucario enter the form of Mega Evolution to strengthen the attack power. On the other side, Dark Pulse of Inkle also accurately hit Audiobook. Lucario and Darkrai's long-awaited double attack. Relying on the gap on the level, it directly beat Ariana's 2 main battle Pokemon. Just as Mulin was about to give an order, when Lucario deposed Ariana. Ariana, who kept retreating, took out a pitch-black baby ball. It was this small action that alerted Mulin. There are many types of baby balls. For example, there are specially used for loading. Heavy ball with larger Pokemon weight. There is also a luxury ball with a larger living environment. The Silver Company in the Kanto region, targeting different Pokemon. Different kinds of baby balls have been developed. But Ariana has this one in her hands right now, the pitch-black baby ball. It was the first time seeing Mulin. To be on the safe side, Mulin said, Xiao Yu, come back. Lucario quickly retreated to Mulin's side. Guard Mulin with Darkrai. Ariana is capable of manning Flying's Honchkrow, which has been seconded. With the current Mulin, there is already little Lugia. Possess the ability of Air Pursuit. Ariana wants to run? Almost impossible. Ariana stared at Mulin with a cold expression. Mulin took the initiative to attack her just now, which has already shown his attitude. Ariana felt bitter. Unexpectedly, a professor of history. Pokemon is so powerful and has such a deep scheming. At this point, we can only use it to fight. I hope I can bluff him. Thinking of this, Ariana no longer hesitated. He pressed the switch of the pure black baby ball in his hand. After a burst of red light, a scorching wave hits. A bird Pokemon that is always covered in flames. Fly high in the air. Lily. HMPH. Ariana sneered and quickly jumped away. Is this Moltres? Sabrina looked at the bird Pokemon in surprise. Mulin's eyes focused on Moltres, open the probing eyes of the system. Pokemon. Fearow, temporarily becomes Moltres form. Attribute. Fire, flying level, 59, elite peak. Skills. Gust, Ember, Wing Attack, Incinerate, Air Slash, Hurricane. Ability. Body of Flame, using contact moves to attack the Pokemon with this ability has a chance of being burned. Remarks. Originally it was just a Fearow, but it was forced to plug Moltres genes, and briefly obtained Moltres power and appearance. The Rocket's accomplishments in genetics are really outstanding. But trying to delay me with this counterfeit? It's almost meaningless. Looking at the Moltres in front of him, I don't think so. Mulin has the eye of inquiry, can clearly find out all the information of Pokemon. However, it was someone else. He would definitely be bluffed by Moltres in front of him. Thus giving Ariana time to escape, because in appearance, it's really too similar. Thinking of this, Mulin said to Lucario beside him, Xiao Yu, I will leave Ariana to you. Lucario agreed and chased him out. Lucario with the power of waveguide in his body. Can sense the breath left by Ariana. Look back to the battle. Fearow, who has been injected with the Moltres gene, looks very irritable. It kept flapping its wings in the air. Mulin said lightly, Darkrai, use the dark hole. Hiss, Darkrai Black's claws aimed at the Moltres in the air. Then grab it fiercely. In front of Moltres, a level metahole appeared. More than a dozen pairs of black hands dragged Moltres. Make it mandatory to sleep contest condition. Moltres, who was still screaming loudly. All of a sudden it went out. He fell headfirst to the ground. Then, he was easily taken care of by Darkrai. Not long after, a system prompt sounded in Mulin's mind. Congratulations to the host, you have completed the random task of the system. Evil Z Pure Crystal has been distributed to the host's backpack. The host, please pick it up by yourself. It's Firo. Sabrina looked at Firo, who fell to the side. His face was unbelievable. Moltres at this time. It has changed its appearance. Feathers no longer burn with fire. It has brown feathers and a long beak. Lie on the floor. More air out, less air in. Mulin said lightly, the rockets should have captured the real Moltres. Then the genes of Moltres were extracted, through gene editing and grafting techniques. Stuck inside Firo. The cells in Firo's body will be swallowed by the more powerful cells of Moltres. That's why I changed the appearance of Firo into the image of Moltres for a short time. Just plain Firo. It simply can't bear the powerful genes of the firecrow bird. Once defeated, or a more intense battle, Firo's cells would collapse. Sabrina frowned when she heard what Mulin said, in other words. The moment this big-billed finch was injected with the Moltres gene. Firo is doomed to die. Mulin didn't speak, but nodded silently. At this time, Firo was knocked to the ground. Rapid expansion of the body. Then, it quickly collapsed. Firo let out a shrill birdsong. Then there is no anger. Team Rocket without humanity. A cold light flashed in Sabrina's eyes, and she waved her pink fist into the air. Hey, Mulin sighed. Don't look just a Firo. Behind this. The rockets are for the God-making project. How many Pokemon fell to their trial supremacy? In the eyes of Team Rocket Giovanni, Pokemon are just tools. Wouldn't care at all. One of the tools is gone, so make another tool. While the Rocket team in the Kanto region is in full swing with the God-making project. Evil organizations in other regions. They are also secretly carrying out their respective activities. Hoenn region. Mount Chimney. Mount Chimney, which is usually quiet, is extremely boiling right now. On the top of the mountain, magma is constantly emerging. Ha 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 ha. Great Earth God Groudon. Please wake up. Please unleash your supreme power. Fill the seas and create more land. Maxi, leader of Team Fire Rock. Looking at the top of the mountain that is constantly ejecting lava. Crazy shouting. Team Lava surrounding Maxi. They all looked excited. Before long, magma continued to emerge from the top of the mountain. There was a terrifying roar. Roar. This roar went straight into the sky. Like clouds floating in the sky. They were all scattered by this roar. The sun is like fire. A blood-red giant claw protruded from the galloping magma. The giant claw swung violently. The hard mountain pass is as fragile as paper. Directly torn apart. A large amount of magma came from the torn hole. Constantly spray out. Soon, Groudon Struggle, who was sleeping in the mountain, came out. Its height reaches a terrifying 50 meters. Like an ancient monster normal, Groudon's scarlet eyes. Silently feeling the breath of the old enemy Kyogre. Soon, Groudon was on the move. Walk forward step by step. Hoenn region. Sea Road. A submarine with the 4 characters Hyuan #1 printed on its body. Is diving in the deep sea. Controlling this submarine is the water fleet, whose purpose is opposite to that of the lava squad. Archie, the leader of the water fleet, is watching the deep sea through the window. Report. 500 range ahead, a huge creature was found. A small soldier of the water fleet reported loudly. Archie stood up excitedly. With a surging heart, he said loudly, full power, turn on all the lights. Yes. Xiao Bing replied and started the operation. When the lights are turned on, a behemoth about 50 meters long appeared in front of Archie. The body is dark blue with 2 huge pectoral fins. Each fin has 4 white square structures at its tip. There are red stripes on the chin, eyes, back of the fins, and torso. Seeing such a terrifying creature, the soldiers of the water fleet couldn't help but retreated a few steps. Archie stood up from his seat excitedly. Pushing away the block soldier, he walked to the window and watched carefully. Kyogre, god of the sea, I finally found you. Kyogre, you are so beautiful. Archie touched the window with his hands fascinated. It seems that Kyogre can be touched through the glass. Quick. Start wake-up plan quickly. God of the sea, call for a violent storm. Let the sea cover all the land. Archie yelled frantically. Yes. The soldiers of the water fleet, go to the console immediately. Turn on wake-up schedule. Hoenn region is ushering in a sea-shaking change. Johto region. On Mount Silver. After a night of recuperation, Sabrina's recovery is more or less the same. Mulin. Wait until I make arrangements for the gym. I'll find you again in Celestic Town, Sabrina waved to Mulin. Mu Lin twitched the corners of his mouth, and said perfunctorily, "Don't worry. Arrange slowly." After a night of in-depth persuasion, plus Mu Lin promised Sabrina, when needed, help her suppress the superpower experience in her body. Sabrina finally temporarily let go of the absurd idea of marrying Mu Lin. Mu Lin, then I'm leaving. Goodbye. The farewell is over. Sabrina summons Izatu. He waved to Mu Lin and took off to leave, finally sent away. Sometimes, being too popular with women is not a good thing. Mu Lin is a little worried if Sabrina comes to Celestic Town to find him. What to do if you run into Cynthia? Hey. All will be good. Let's talk about it later. But this trip to Mount Silver, it's also quite rewarding. Harvested Black Belt and Evil Z Pure Crystal. Mu Lin took out 2 items rewarded by the system. Called Lucario. Xiao. Lucario happily ran over. This is for you. Absorb the energy in it. Mu Lin handed the item Black Belt to Lucario. Lucario spilled the power of the waveguide and wrapped the Black Belt, slowly absorbing the energy in it. After the absorption, Lucario's data also changed. Pokemon. Lucario, gender, male, attribute, steel, fighting. Ability. Heart of Justice, when receiving a Dark-type move, increase its own attack, and when the Pokemon with this ability receives Dark-type consecutive moves, each attack can trigger this ability. Level. 65, Champion Intermediate, Potential, Upper Level 3 God. Skills. Aura Sphere, Detect, Feint, Rock Smash, Metal Claw, Quick Attack, Power-Up Punch, Bone Rush, Meteor Mash, Sword Dance. Genetic Skills. Cross Chop, High Jump Kick, Vacuum Wave, Bullet Punch. Z Skill. Corkscrew Crash. Contest Condition. Perfect. Remarks. This Pokemon has outstanding aptitude, endowed with extraordinary muscle toughness, has explosive power far exceeding that of its peers, and has a strong comprehension of quick attack skills. Lucario said, after absorbing Black Belt. The understanding of fighting is more transparent. Come on, Xiao. Keep practicing and you will become stronger. Mu Lin patted Lucario's shoulder with relief. Set up Lucario. Mu Lin handed the Evil Z Pure Crystal to Darkrai. Come, Darkrai. This is for you. Hiss, Darkrai slowly absorbed the energy within. A move, imprinted in his mind. Open the probing eyes again. Pokemon. Darkrai Attribute. Evil Ability. Nightmare, when rival falls into a sleeping contest condition, rival's stamina will be automatically reduced. Level. 65, Champion Intermediate, Potential, Upper Level 3 God. Skills. Ominous Wind, Disable, Hypnosis, Sucker Punch, Foul Play, Double Team, Haze, Dark Pulse. Exclusive Skill. Dark Void. Z Move, Black Hole Eclipse. Contest Condition. Perfect. Remarks. Pokemon with a legendary physique have stronger potential and faster growth. He has a natural affinity for evil energy. Lucario, Darkrai, their potential has reached the upper level 3 gods. Both Pokemon have had quite a few battles since they last returned from New Moon Island. The level has been raised to level 65, and the level has reached the middle level of the champion. After arranging the 2 Pokemon, Mu Lin began to think about the next arrangement. Xiao, Darkrai, they all have good fighting capabilities. Silver has also grown rapidly. Time to tame the 4th Pokemon. If you have time, you need to plan well. Mu Lin is very cautious about subduing Pokemon. In addition to considering the potential of Pokemon itself, also consider the Pokemon, whether it will conflict with the position of other Pokemon in the team. Just when Mu Lin was thinking about the team, the 4th Pokemon. The phone on his waist rang. A quick glance revealed that it was an unknown number. Frowning, still connected. Hello, is this Mu Lin, Professor? A male voice came on the phone. Mu Lin. Hi, may I ask who you are? After confirming Mu Lin's identity, the other party hurriedly said, Mu Lin, Professor, I'm Kai Kelly. Wallace? Hoenn region, current champion? The scope of activities of Mu Lin Normal is mostly in the Sinnoh region. There is no intersection with Hoenn's Wallace. How did the other party know his phone number? It seems to be feeling the doubts of Dao Mu Lin. Wallace said, Mu Lin, Professor, your call is from Cynthia. I took the liberty to find you this time because of our Hoenn region. A drastic change is taking place. Hope to get your help. Upheaval in the Hoenn region. And it sounds like things are serious. Otherwise Wallace wouldn't be so anxious. Here. One red and one blue figure appeared in Mu Lin's mind. Can't help blurting out. Is it because of Groudon and Kyogre? Wallace on the phone froze for a moment. Unexpectedly, Mu Lin guessed it. He hurriedly told Mu Lin about the awakening of Groudon and Kyogre. Okay, I know. I'm off to the Hoenn region. After hanging up the phone, Mu Lin immediately rode on little Lugia. Head to the Hoenn region. Meet Groudon and Kyogre's fateful rivalry. Hoenn region. Meeting room at Sootopolis City Town Hall. It can be described as a gathering of stars, except for Steven, Wallace, Elite Four in Hoenn region. Unova region champion Alder. Cynthia, champion of the Sinnoh region. All gathered here. Alder and Cynthia both received an ongoing mutation in the Hoenn region. They came here from Unova and Sinnoh to help. Report. Groudon has crossed Hibiscus City. It is estimated that there is still 1 day to arrive in Slateport City. Report. Fortree City's Meteorological Research Center, confirmed by research. The abnormal rainstorm on Sea Route was caused by Kyogre. Report. After calculation, the 2 ancient Pokémon will end up in 3 days. Meet in Sootopolis City. In the conference room, people came in to report from time to time. An update on Groudon and Kyogre. Before, I always thought these 2 super ancient Pokémon was fabricated by ancient people. I never thought they actually existed. Because I don't believe in the existence of ancient Pokémon. The actions of the Water Fleet and Lava Squadron have been allowed in disguise. I am mainly responsible for this incident. Wallace rubbed his swollen temples, annoyed. Wallace's friend, Steven, patted him on the shoulder. Said to him softly, Wallace, I don't blame you. No one ever saw Groudon and Kyogre. It's normal not to believe they really exist. You don't have to blame yourself too much. Also, now is not the time to discuss responsibility. The most important thing right now is this emergency. Thank you, Steven. Wallace clapped Steven's hand. With Steven's comfort, Wallace felt better. Then Wallace looked at Cynthia and asked, Cynthia, when will Professor Mu Lin arrive? Cynthia checked the time and replied, I spoke with him on the phone 3 hours ago. Judging from his itinerary at the time, he should have gotten off the plane by now. Follow the Hoenn region. It is estimated that in about half an hour, he should be there. Okay. Wallace looked away, and the shares were available in the conference room. Professor Birch with his head buried in a vintage book. Professor Birch, have you found anything? The somewhat rich Professor Birch looked up. His eyes were bloodshot with thick dark circles. It can be seen that he hasn't slept well these days. Wearily said, the ancient characters in these documents. Too ancient. I can only understand the Arnold part of it. Professional deciphering may have to wait for Mu Lin Professor to handle it. After speaking, Professor Birch handed an ancient book back to Kai Kelly. Okay, Professor Birch, go and rest. Wallace sighed. Professor Birch, while knowledgeable, is dedicated to perfecting Pokemon's habitat work. If you want him to translate ancient texts, it is difficult for him. Cynthia, the regiment is in a hurry. How to quell a battle between 2 ultra-ancient Pokemon. Our only clue is this ancient book in my hand. Can I trouble you to call Mu Lin Professor again? Where is he now, or shall we pick him up? Wallace apologized to Cynthia. Fine. I'll ask him. Cynthia took out her mobile phone, ready to call Mu Lin. At this moment, he was sitting beside the bed in the meeting room. A surprised female voice came. Is this the god of the sea? The person who spoke was Winona, the director of the flying department of the Hoenn region Fortree Gymnasium, who is good at using bird Pokemon. Everyone heard it. They all followed her gaze. I saw a large silver-white bird Pokemon outside soaring in the sky in Sootopolis City. Is approaching fast. That's right. It's Lugia, god of the sea. Professor Birch exclaimed in great surprise. The kind Lugia has left many legends in various regions. Also, in praise of Lugia, people in many places will sculpt the statue of Lugia. With the exception of Ho-Oh, Lugia could be said to be the entire Pokemon world. The most well-known beast. As the distance gets closer, everyone in the conference room saw Lugia clearly. All in shock. Hey, everyone, take a look. There seems to be someone sitting on Lugia's body, Winona said again. Everyone immediately stretched their necks and squinted their eyes to see. Sure enough, as Winona said, there is a person on Lugia's body. Who is this person? It's actually possible to let the legendary Lugia serve as his mount. Is it possible that Lugia has been subdued by him? Someone can subdue the beast. Others are not familiar with Mu Lin. But Cynthia recognized at a glance who was riding on Lugia. It is my fiance, Mu Lin. Cynthia said, Wallace, didn't you just ask when Mu Lin will arrive? Now, here he is. What? Wallace's eyes widened, looking at Cynthia in disbelief. You mean, the one riding Lugia, isn't it? Shocked, Wallace couldn't help amplifying the volume. Everyone in the meeting room, because of Wallace's voice. Focus on Cynthia. He is my fiance, and I will not admit it wrong. Cynthia nodded affirmatively. Sutopolis City. All the people who were sitting in the conference room came out. Lin Professor, hello. It's really troublesome for you to come from so far away. Wallace led a group of Hoenn elites. Meet Lin who just landed. Hee, no trouble. Lin greeted and smiled at Cynthia in the crowd. Say hello now. People around all focused their eyes on Lugia where Lin was sitting. Especially those majoring in flying. Winona, who is proficient at using bird Pokemon. His face was full of light. One of the Hoenn Elite Four. Elite Glacia in charge of ice. Arms Cynthia. Teased. No wonder you hit him so well. Emotion is not only a history professor, but also a powerful trainer. And he's so handsome. If it were me, I wouldn't want him to be exposed. So as not to be coveted by other women, Cynthia sneered, but didn't speak. She doesn't understand. Since the last time we met. Only half a month has passed. Wood Rin actually subdued Lugia. He secretly said in his heart, if you have time, you have to examine him carefully. Look how many secrets he has. After the simple greetings, Sleepy put away little Lugia. Everyone also put away their envious eyes. After all, now Groudon and Kyogre are running to each other. Another disaster awaits them. We came to the conference room of Sutopolis City together. Just got back to the conference room. Wallace handed an ancient book to Lin Professor. This is an ancient book handed down from ancient times by our Sutopolis family. I heard from the elders in the clan that the legends of the ancient Hoenn region are recorded here. It's a pity that it's so old that even we, the Sutopolis family, don't know the characters in it. So I invite you here this time because I want you to take a look. In this ancient book, can you find a way to stop Groudon and Kyogre from fighting? Others don't know, but Lin does. To calm down Groudon and Kyogre. Easy. Find their big brother, Rayquaza. Just clean them up. Where to find Rayquaza? That must be the Sky Pillar. But here comes the problem. The world now is a world of integration. Where is the exact location of the Sky Pillar? Even if you find the Sky Pillar, how to wake up Rayquaza? Shout out the horn. Lin took the ancient books and began to flip through them. The ancient characters in ancient books are like heavenly scriptures to others. But for Lin who has full deciphering skills, as if engraved in the bone, it doesn't affect Lin's reading at all. I saw related records in ancient books. Lin opened his mouth and read it out. The god of the earth, Groudon, possesses the power of light and heat. Can evaporate a flooded region, or cause a volcano to erupt to create land. Kyogre, the god of the sea, has the power to call wind and rain, so as to expand the ocean. After these two Pokemon met, they fought an earth-shattering battle in order to expand their territories. The war lasted for 3 full months. Neither side has decided the outcome. On the contrary, because of the battle between two Pokemon, countless lives were lost and the people were in dire straits. Just when people were desperate, there was a surging, high-pitched dragon chant in the air. A green dragon descending from the sky, invincible, crippled Groudon and Kyogre. Let Groudon sleep in Mount Chimney, let Kyogre go back to sleep in the 10,000-meter trench. The green dragon, named Rayquaza by the world. It means soaring in the sky totem. Rayquaza saved the Hoenn region, and has been revered as the supreme myth of Hoenn ever since. To commemorate the great deeds of Rayquaza, the Meteor clan who worshipped Rayquaza built the Sky Pillar. In this way, to commemorate the deeds of Rayquaza, and take a stone left by Rayquaza as a token. Only those who hold this token can enter the Sky Pillar. Just when everyone is listening intently to the past in the Hoenn region. Lin's voice stopped abruptly. Bring everyone back to reality. I saw Lin closing the ancient book a little depressed. Gone? Wallace asked in disbelief. Gone. Lin nodded depressedly. This ancient book by Wallace is full of nonsense. Where is the specific Sky Pillar? And what is the token to enter the Sky Pillar? Not a word is mentioned at all. It's a busy day. Hey. Wallace's expression darkened. The ancient books that were originally given high hopes were exchanged for a disappointing ending. 3 months. The last fight between Groudon and Kyogre. It lasted for 3 full months. Don't say 3 months, if their fight lasts for 3 days. The entire Sutopolis city will be reduced to ruins. Or, there aren't even ruins left, Steven muttered blankly. In the conference room, the atmosphere was a little gloomy. Everyone knows. 2 ultra-ancient Pokemon, once they fight. Enough to cause much damage, do not care. What we can do now is to evacuate the citizens of Sutopolis City in advance. Do your best and obey the destiny. Wallace said to everyone in the conference room. That's right. Stephen also pulled himself together. Listen to my arrangement next. Wallace began to issue relevant instructions to the elites of the Hoenn Alliance. While Wallace and others were busy, a corner of Sutopolis City. Zinnia of the Meteor Clan. He holds a stone in his hand. He quietly looked at the place where Mu Lin was. With an excited expression, he opened his mouth and said, Master Inheritor. I finally found you. Sutopolis City. In the crowded conference room, the crowd has already dispersed. The elite of the Hoenn region, led by Wallace and Stephen, separately go to ease the citizens of Sutopolis City. Follow Kyogre and Groudon's path forward. The place where they finally meet will be Sutopolis City. Including Cynthia and Alder of Unova, also go to help. In the conference room, only Mu Lin was left. Just as Mu Lin stood up, when preparing to leave, a man with a cloak suddenly walked into the conference room. This person, from the physical point of view, like a woman. The cloaked woman took off the cloak on her head. The hair on the forehead of the woman covered her face. It's not very clear what it looks like. You are? Mu Lin asked curiously. The other party's dress is so weird. It should not be the staff of the city hall. Unexpectedly, Mu Lin just opened his mouth. The woman in the cloak knelt down directly. I go. The etiquette in the Hoenn region is so grand? Mu Lin was stunned. I don't know what the woman in front of me is going to do. You are? The woman in the cloak raised her head respectfully. Brushed the hair on the forehead. A pretty face was revealed. Finally saw the other person's face clearly. Mu Lin also knew the other party's identity. Can't help blurting out. Are you Zinnia from the Meteor Clan? Zinnia heard Mu Lin accurately report her background. It is more and more certain that Mu Lin is the inheritor of Rayquaza. He looked up at Mu Lin. There was a strange look in his eyes. Hastily said, Meteor Clan Zinnia, meet the successor. Master Inheritor, please accept the secret treasure of the Meteor Clan. Zinnia said while using both hands. A fist-sized stone was presented. Secret treasure? The inheritor? Mu Lin was stunned. Master Inheritor, you accept the sacred object in my hand. You know it. Zinnia, who was kneeling on the ground, said respectfully. All right. Mu Lin took the unremarkable stone casually. Just a touch. The three divine powers in the body naturally flowed towards the stone. At the same time, the unremarkable stone immediately burst into dazzling Lucas. Make the whole meeting room colorful. See the stone glow. Zinnia was inexplicably excited and began to bow down. This is. Mu Lin activated the probing eyes of the system suspiciously, observing the stone in his hand. Colorful stone, incomplete, it contains rich energy. Function. As the key to open the sky pillar. Remarks. The colorful stone is currently incomplete. You get up first. Mu Lin waved to Zinnia who was kneeling on the ground, and asked, is this the key to enter the sky pillar? Zinnia got Mu Lin's order and got up quickly. Respectfully replied. Report to the successor adults. You were right. You are Draconid tribe, so you know exactly where the sky pillar is. Mu Lin asked again. Zinnia put her hands on her trousers and bent her body slightly. He replied extremely respectfully. Report to Master Inheritor. We do know. Sky Pillar is an ancient tribe. Pray for the blessing of Lord Dragon God to build a place. Master Inheritor? Why do you call me that? Mu Lin asked Zinnia suspiciously, returning to the Inheritor Sama. We were inspired by Lord Dragon God. Zinnia puts everything she knows. Tell Mu Lin everything. After hearing what Zinnia said, Mu Lin was even more puzzled. Totally do not understand. Why Rayquaza fell in love with himself. Could it be because he is so handsome? Mu Lin who contains the power of the three gods. A handsome guy indeed. But the question is, Pokemon's aesthetics are consistent with human beings? Perhaps, it has something to do with my identity as a time traveler? I thought about all kinds of possibilities, but it didn't make sense. Simply, Mu Lin didn't think too much about it. Then, he looked at Zinnia who stood respectfully aside. Said. In this case, let's go to the Sky Pillar. Yes. Zinnia responded respectfully. Master Inheritor. Please come with me. Kirin rides little Lugia. Zinnia rode her own Salamence. Follow Sutopolis City all the way south. Flying for a full 8 hours, 2 Pokemon are almost exhausted. Finally, in the boundless sea, saw an island. Master Inheritor. Ahead is the Sky Pillar. Zinnia, who was riding on Salamence, said loudly to Mu Lin. Yeah. Following Zinnia's guidance, the sea ahead. Suddenly, an island appeared. The island is not big, covering an area of about 30 acres. On the island, there stands a tall tower that soars into the sky. Even after being eroded by the sea wind, it is still intact. Around the tower, surrounded by a mysterious, holy atmosphere. Sky Pillar. Rayquaza. Thinking of meeting the legendary Rayquaza later, Mu Lin couldn't help feeling overwhelmed. Looking up, Mu Lin looked at the towering sky pillar. I can't help feeling the insignificance of human beings. The hand slightly touches the wall of the sky pillar. It's like touching a cloud of cotton. There is no physical feeling. It turns out that this sky pillar is made up of. No wonder it hasn't been ruined for so many years. Sometimes, Mu Lin also has to lament the crooked technology tree in this world. Hoenn region has the Draconid tribe, which builds power towers. In the ancient times of the Carlos region, there was also the ultimate weapon that could give people eternal life. Sigh finished. Mu Lin turned around and looked at Zinnia behind him. I'm going in. Yes. Master Inheritor. Zinnia bowed and saluted. Call. Taking a deep breath, Yu Rin stepped into the sky pillar. Just walked inside. Mu Lin felt a strong pressure. Assault on himself. Unprepared Mu Lin. Being directly pressed by this force, Gabao fell to the ground. Sweat dripped from Mu Lin's forehead. After a lot of hard work, he stood up. Looking around. The interior of the sky pillar is empty. There is only one staircase leading directly to the top. At the top of the stairs, there is a huge ball of light. It is estimated to go to the top and touch the light ball. Get in touch with Rayquaza. Difficult steps. Mu Lin walked up step by step. With every step of the stairs, the pressure increased. As time went by, Mu Lin's physical strength was exhausted. The 3 divine powers that support him have also been exhausted. Gah. Mu Lin looked around and there was still a third of the way to go, and couldn't help cursing. No matter what you scold, you still have to keep going. After all, there is only 1/3 left. He took a deep breath again, relying on his will, and forced himself to go up. Time flow rate of Sky Pillar. It is different from the velocity outside. When Mu Lin is rising. When working hard towards the light ball above the head. The other side. Awakened Groudon finally stepped into Sootopolis City. Roar. It seems to sense the old enemy Kyogre, right in front of him. The Groudon, which is 50 meters high, roars loudly. The clouds above were scattered by the roar. The sun is burning. In response to Groudon, there was a huge wail cry. Woo. Kyogre, who was lurking in the water, jumped out of the water. Dark clouds and heavy rain. Groudon, Kyogre. The boundaries between each other are clearly demarcated. Boom. Boom. With the old enemy ahead, Groudon approached step by step. Every time he took a step, there was a huge vibration. Blocking the building in front of him. It was like a piece of tofu smashed directly at a glance. On the other side, Kyogre surged with a high tsunami. Constantly beating the shore. After the devastation of these 2 behemoths. Let the entire Sootopolis city be in dire straits. Before the battle officially started, almost half of the city was destroyed. Fortunately, the citizens living here. Arranged by Hoenn Alliance, a temporary camp was established at the high point of Sootopolis City. Temporarily houses citizens of Sootopolis City. The god of the earth, Groudon, instinctively repels all moisture. Even my melodic, 200 miles around Groudon too. I can't even use the most basic water gun. There is no way at all. Wallace was bleeding when he saw Sootopolis City being destroyed. He used to be the owner of the Sootopolis Gym. There is an indelible affection for Sootopolis City. But what can I do? Groudon, that's a god. No matter how strong Wallace's Pokemon is, it's just a mortal thing. How could an insect of tail glow compete with the sun and the moon? As a friend of Wallace, Stephen naturally clearly understood the other party's helplessness. Just him at this moment. I don't know what to say to comfort Wallace. He could only pat him on the shoulder silently. Hey. Alder sighed heavily and shook his head equally wordlessly. The surrounding Elite Four, as well as the gym master, all looked desperate. Cynthia looked around and found that there was no sign of Mu Lin. Asked Glacia beside him. Did you see Mu Lin? Glacia looked into the distance. Kyogre, who was churning in the sea, shook his head. Do not know. It seems that I haven't seen Mu Lin Professor for a long time. When Cynthia heard this, she felt a little uneasy in her heart. Take out the phone, willing to call Mew. Make sure he's safe. At this moment, 2 ultra-ancient Pokemon. A fateful duel begins, attracted everyone's attention. Roar. Groudon flinched, then stretched forward. Terrifying energy brewed from the giant mouth. Aim at Kyogre on the sea surface and blast. Grass-type powerful skills. Sunshine, in such a sunny environment. There is no need to store energy at all. face the attack of the old enemy. Kyogre, there is no intention of avoiding it at all. For them, dodge the opponent's attack, it is to show weakness to the other party. Woo. Kyogre let out a loud cry and flicked his huge tail fin. Water energy is manipulated by his Solacean. Immediately rolled up a water column hundreds of meters thick. A move Hydro Pump, retaliate Groudon, the attack of two giant beasts. Weaving and colliding together in the air, make a deafening explosion. Windows of all buildings in Sootopolis City. All were shattered by the huge explosion. Roar. Groudon's blow was invalid, and he launched an attack again. Woo. Kyogre was not afraid at all, and once again condensed. The confrontation just now was just an appetizer. The real battle begins now, the southernmost point of the boundless sea in the Hoenn region. The interior of the Sky Pillar, the last step. Mew Lin looked at the last step left. Strongly supporting his will, he tried hard to use his already numb feet. Stepped up. Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, panting heavily. His chest was like a bellows, and Normal kept breathing. A huge ball of light is just around the corner. Without hesitation, Mew Lin reached out to touch it. Upon contact, the huge photosphere began to fission. Fission into countless starlight dots, it quickly merged into Mew Lin's body. Quickly replenishing the exhausted physical strength. Mew Lin's 3 divine powers had already been exhausted. Fills up in an instant. The huge pressure also dissipated. With the last bit of starlight, all the convergence is completed. A desolate and ancient atmosphere fell from the sky. Soaring in the sky, there seems to be a pair of big hands. Forcefully push the clouds away. 9 days above. A shining 100-meter dragon appeared, Master Dragon God. Zinnia waiting outside the Sky Pillar. He knelt on the ground devoutly and saluted. Ho ho ho. Rayquaza let out a high-pitched dragon chant that shocked the world. Afterwards, Rayquaza made a 100-meter swing. Then it flew into the Sky Pillar and arrived in front of Mew Lin. The huge dragon eyes looked at him with relief. Rayquaza. Mew Lin looked at himself reflected in Rayquaza's eyes and opened his mouth gently. Ho ho ho. Rayquaza lowered his body. Do you want me to sit on it? Although Mew Lin felt Rayquaza's thoughts. But still ask. Ho ho ho. Rayquaza nodded slightly. Okay. After Mew Lin confirmed again, he rode on Rayquaza's body. Ho ho. A word of caution from Rayquaza, let the big catch yourself. Yeah. Mew Lin put his hand on Rayquaza's dragon scale. Afterwards, Rayquaza swung his 100-meter body. Disappear in place in an instant. Fly in the direction of Sootopolis City. Master Dragon God. Master Inheritor. Zinnia knelt on the ground. Until Rayquaza and Mew Lin go away. Then he stood up excitedly. He muttered in his mouth. Grandmother, the Inheritor and the Dragon God have joined. Sootopolis City. A raging wave came from the sea. The crowd led by Wallace quickly let their Pokemon attack. Hit the incoming waves. Melodic, freezing rays. Glalie, Bingdong Ray. Salamence, Dragon Pulse. Metagross, Flash Cannon. Volcarona, Bug Buzz. Garchomp, Hyper Beam. Clatter, clatter. With several attacks, the waves were repelled. But the remaining impact force still slaps on the coastline. Among the Hoenn elite, Ice Elite Glacia is low profile. Hugging her Pokemon Glalie, she said to Stress Edley, Glalie, please hold on. Guard. Glalie nodded weakly. Long Shishan Wang Yanji on the side. Also look at his own trump card Salamence. Salamence's eyes were full of tiredness. Continue to consume endlessly like this. It is estimated that it will become a scrap dragon. The rest of the Pokemon are similar. To preserve the remaining buildings of Sootopolis City. Not affected by battle aftermath, they could only grit their teeth and persist. I can hold on now, but if it goes on like this, it won't last long. Elite Sydney, the villain in Elite 4, opened his mouth somewhat dejectedly. In this regard, Cynthia and Alder who came to help. They are also speechless. Hey! Wallace sighed heavily, shaking his head feebly. We can't back down. Once it retreats, the entire Sootopolis City will be destroyed. Sootopolis City is a city built on an island. There is no such thing as the outback, as Wallace said, once they back off. Estimate the city and all its buildings will be completely swallowed by the raging waves. But, Sydney said again in frustration, is it really meaningful to persist like this? They've been fighting for so long, and they still can't tell the difference. By them Sydney meant Groudon and Kyogre. The fight went back and forth, I don't know how long it lasted. But they didn't look exhausted at all. Wallace glanced at the ultra-ancient Pokemon fighting on the sea. Feel helpless. He knew Sydney was right. It's like an endless battle. Perhaps, it was fate that Sutopolis City was destroyed. Although there are all kinds of helplessness in my heart. But Wallace is the current Hoenn region champion. Not in public. Show any signs of frustration. Soon. The turbulent waves came crashing again. Wallace without options. I can only encourage the Hoenn elites behind me, please everyone. Hold on. Even if we can't hold Sutopolis City in the end. At least, we did our best. Cynthia and Alder, who came to help, silently nodded to Kai Kelly. Command their respective Pokemon to attack against the waves. Support with action, fellow champion Wallace. Time passed by every minute and every second. Waves crashed against the shoreline incessantly. The Pokemon of several young gymnastic directors have exhausted their energy. Forced to do nothing but be able to back out on the defensive end. As the numbers dwindle, the pressure on Wallace and the Elite Four suddenly mounts. Have no choice. Wallace was ready to make the rest of Hoenn's elite back off. Retreat to the center of Sutopolis City when defending. It never stops. Groudon and Kyogre wrestling. All of a sudden, he stopped fighting. Roar. Woo. Groudon and Kyogre seemed to sense something. If you were facing a big enemy, look into the distance. In the distance, a green light spot, running fast. Because that's Hoenn's supreme myth. Bigger than the earth. Bigger than the sea. Master the totem of soaring in the sky. Rayquaza. Representing Rayquaza's dot of light, attacking quickly. In a blink of an eye, it has come to the top of Sutopolis City. Ho ho ho. A high-pitched, clear dragon chant resounded throughout the world. With a swing of Bamy's divine body, he activated the soaring in the sky ability. The sun was burning like fire above Groudon's head. The torrential rain that Kyogre called, all vanished in an instant. Soaring in the sky is clear, ho ho ho. Rayquaza once again let out a dragon chant, his whole body shining with dazzling green arts. The aura of the sky and the earth is wide open, showing its domineering state. With this dragon chant, Pokemon released by Hoenn Elite. No matter how strong or weak, they all lowered their heads. The weaker Pokemon, lying on the ground, trembling. Even Wallace's strongest Pokemon Melodic. He also lay on the ground, not daring to move. Kneeling, trembling. As if looking up, is a taunt to the gods. Rayquaza's domineering attitude. Only Groudon and Kyogre, who are also ultra-ancient Pokemon, can resist one or two. Roar. Groudon let out a low growl, his whole body glowed red. The Omega symbol representing the earth is shining with light. The ferocity in his eyes has disappeared. Instead, be vigilant and fearful. Woo. Kyogre blew and flew from the Air Force. Lurk back into the sea. The Omega symbol representing the sea is reflected in the sea. The tail fin swings carefully, gathering energy. Hoenn Elites. Everyone looked at the giant dragon, Rayquaza, hovering in the air in amazement and inexplicable. Lie Rayquaza. Rayquaza. Wallace's eyes were filled with shock. According to the records in ancient books, Rayquaza has the ability to stop Groudon and Kyogre from feuding. In other words, with the advent of Rayquaza, Sutopolis City, even if you keep it. Rayquaza. With the appearance of Rayquaza, the Hoenn Elite all breathed a sigh of relief. Although everyone was full of surprises for Lai Kongchu's appearance. But at the same time, there is also a question that bothers them. Why, Rayquaza is here, just when everyone was full of doubts. Winona, who majored in flying, said, "Look, everyone. The one riding on Rayquaza is Mew Lin Professor." Winona's voice immediately attracted everyone's attention. Everyone raised their heads and squinted their eyes to look up. Really, Rayquaza's back, riding a human. And that human, it is Mew Lin, hiss. See clearly the person riding Rayquaza, it is Kund. Everyone gasped. The people present are all seasoned trainers. They clearly understand. A Pokemon willing to be ridden by the trainer represents something. It means trainer has tamed this Pokemon. Even if Mew Lin is not subdued, at least it proves a fact. That is Rayquaza, has endorsed Mew Lin, good guy. Mew Lin's two appearances shocked everyone. For the first time, it was Lugia, the god of the sea, who was riding. Although Lugia is very rare, but the people at the time could also see it. Lugia's strength is still very strong, barely strong. Also acceptable. But now, the mount has been replaced by Rayquaza. That is, the god who rules soaring in the sky. Wooden. Mew Lin. Cynthia also looked incredible, looking at Mew Lin riding on Rayquaza. A relieved Wallace. He exclaimed, "It is probably Mew Lin Professor, I found the exact address of Skypillar." And wake up Rayquaza. If there is no Wooden Professor, the consequences could be disastrous. Stephen on the side also said, yes. Thanks to Mu Lin Professor. The rest of the Hoenn people also all felt the critical moment of Mu Lin. Come with Rayquaza. Although no one knows how Mu Lin summoned Rayquaza. But they know, with Rayquaza on board, the change in the Hoenn region has finally come to an end. Listening to the people around you talking about your fiance. Cynthia looked again at Mu Lin, who was riding on Rayquaza, who was high above him. There is some depression in my heart, but more surprises. I couldn't find Mu Lin before, so I thought Mu Lin was in some danger. Emotionally, it is difficult to find Rayquaza. I call you to translate ancient books, you called Rayquaza directly. The emergence of Rayquaza gave Hoenn's elite a shot in the arm. But for some, this is a huge blow. A corner of Sootopolis City. Maxie and Archie, who were originally rivals, are getting together. Watching Rayquaza high in the sky with a dark look. Around the two, except for the executives of their respective organizations. There is one more person. This guy, wearing a Team Rocket costume. Impressively, it is the SIRD who appeared in Sinnoh region before. Surd said to the two, I was right before, even if you wake up Groudon and Kyogre. It's useless, because there is still Rayquaza restricting them. Maxie and Archie heard about it. Their faces were extremely gloomy. Hiding for so many years, finally succeeded in awakening Groudon and Kyogre. Thought to be able to achieve their own great purpose. Let sea and land decide. But who would have thought that someone would intervene? Rayquaza is summoned. Let their years of hard work be in vain. Surd disapproved of the gloomy faces of the two. He said easily, I want to achieve your respective goals. There is only one way, that's suppressing Rayquaza. How to do it? Maxie said in a low voice. Archie didn't speak. But in his eyes, there is a longing that cannot be hidden. Hee hee. Surd chuckled. Without judging the two of them, he said, we were the Rockets some time ago. A ruin has been found in the Sinnoh region. Through our research, the secrets of Groudon and Kyogre were discovered. What a secret, Maxie said eagerly. Surd said, the current Groudon and Kyogre are not yet in full form. They still have primal form. They in primal form are their most powerful form. At that time, relying on super combat power. Even if Rayquaza wants to intervene now, he doesn't have the ability. By then, it will be the land covering the ocean. It's still the sea that drowns the land. Isn't there a result? Surd paused when he said this. Seeing Maxie and Archie, I have been successfully attracted to myself. Then he continued. The key item that can make these two ultra-ancient Pokemon enter primal form. Our Rockets already got it early. Right now, research is being conducted at our headquarters. After speaking, he looked at the two with a meaningful expression on his face. A relatively calm Archie. Knowing that SIRD wouldn't tell them that for no reason. He was the first to ask, Team Rocket, what do you want? Thinking about what? Surd chuckled lightly, and then said with an adoring face, our Lord Giovanni has a very broad pattern. I will not only focus on Kanto and Johto region. Lord Giovanni, what you want is the whole world. As long as you join our Rockets, your wishes. We, Lord Giovanni, will satisfy you. Maxie and Archie were silent for a while. Lava Squad and Water Fleet, though the two organized themselves. Not as big as the Rockets. Not to mention, the Rockets' deep heritage. But no matter what, they are also the leaders of their respective organizations. Let them join the Rockets? Don't you want to obey orders? The two experienced some ideological struggle. In the end, he was still influenced by the obsession in his heart. Maxie spoke first. I join you. Seeing this, Archie also said, I'll join too. Master Giovanni is right. These two people have too much obsession. As long as they grasp this point, they will not be able to break free. Surd's admiration for Giovanni increased in his heart. Then he said to the two with satisfaction, what happened next? It's not important anymore. Let's go. Maxie turned her head and glanced at Groudon. With a big wave of his hand, he led the lava team and left with SIRD. Archie also glanced at Kyogre reluctantly and sighed softly. Also follow SIRD away. Maxie and Archie joined Team Rocket. Meanwhile, Groudon and Kyogre also temporarily shake hands and make peace. Their goals at this time are all on Likongzo. Ho ho ho. Rayquaza let out a high-pitched dragon chant again. To show his dominance. Feel the domineering force of Rayquaza. Groudon and Kyogre together generate their own momentum. Team up against Rayquaza. A trace of anger flashed in Rayquaza's huge dragon eyes. It seems that these two younger brothers are a little dissatisfied with themselves. Sleeping for thousands of years, forget who is the big brother. Forced by Rayquaza's momentum, roar. Groudon couldn't help it first, and let out a roar. The Omega symbol is extremely dazzling, the surrounding wind howls. Next second, Groudon stomps towards the ground. Feet communicate with the world. From the ground, a burning lava spike burst out. Wrapped with huge heat, galloped towards Rayquaza. Groudon's exclusive skill, Precipice Blades. The moment Groudon struck, Kyogre seems to be infected by Groudon and becomes brave. The Alpha symbol glows bright blue. The tail fin slapped the water surface violently and jumped out of the water. Gather 6 blue orbs. Raging energy seems to tear the air. Together they attack Rayquaza. Seeing this scene, Wallace and others all showed solemn expressions. Although in legend, Rayquaza was able to overwhelm Groudon and Kyogre. And judging from the imposing manner shown just now, it is indeed the posture of an emperor. But the problem is, Groudon's Precipice Blades. It seems to be able to pierce the sky. Kyogre's Organ Pulse. It seems to condense the momentum of the entire sea. But at this time, Rayquaza seemed to have no intention of dodging. Is this really okay? At the same time, Cynthia clasped her hands tightly, her pretty face full of worry. The object of her concern is Mew Lin riding on Rayquaza. What will happen to Rayquaza against these two terrifying attacks? She does not know. But Cynthia knows, Mew Lin of mortal body. Even if it is affected a little, it will make him disappear. When Groudon, Kyogre's attack strikes, Rayquaza talks to Mew Lin on his back through telepathy. The Inheritor. Inject your power into my body. Rayquaza's voice appeared in Mew Lin's mind. I see. Feeling Rayquaza's fighting spirit, the 3 divine powers in Mew Lin's body circulated crazily into Rayquaza's body. The 3 divine powers on Mew Lin's body seemed to be wiped out. Rayquaza, on the other hand, is a dynamite with enormous energy. The 3 divine powers merged into Rayquaza's body and immediately ignited Rayquaza's energy. Next moment. Ho ho ho. The Rayquaza Delphic symbol shines with a light that cannot be seen directly. The dragon's chant resounded through the sky. The endless power of the dragon is like the Emperor descending from the 9 heavens. Rambling turbulence, covering Mew Lin and Rayquaza together. Become the strongest armor. The 100-meter divine body swings in the air. Fast to the extreme speed, sending out the strongest impact towards the 2 attacks. Rayquaza's exclusive skill, Dragon Ascent. Rayquaza, who is approaching the limit, is like a sky-shattering sword, normal. Stabbed Kyogre's Organ Pulse. The power of the boundless sea forcefully pierced the 2 ends. Afterwards, it even carried the Wanjun Thunderbolt. Crash on Groudon's Precipice Blades, boom. The huge explosion made everyone present cover their ears tightly. Cynthia and other Alliance elites, all eyes wide open. Keep an eye on the center of the explosion, tense atmosphere. It seems that the air is frozen normal. At this time, Rayquaza showed a domineering attitude. Get out of the blast range. Return to the 9 heavens. Ho ho ho. Stab the Organ Pulse, break the Precipice Blades. For Rayquaza, it has no effect at all. The huge dragon eyes are still full of sharp fighting intent. Then, unrivaled Rayquaza, it is even more direct to launch an impact. Boom. A more terrifying explosion sounded. The turbulence is raging. Green Mang is all over the sky. Several cracks appeared in Groudon's fiery red lava armor. Both feet, like plowing the field, were repelled hundreds of meters. And Kyogre, who jumped out of the water, was overturned strongly. Even if he can fly, he can't control his figure in the air. He fell heavily on the sea. Roll up the boundless waves. Repel Groudon and overthrow Kyogre in one blow. Roar. Woo. Groudon and Kyogre roared at the same time. It seems that they are still very unconvinced. Mew Lin patted Rayquaza, who sat down. At the same time, the power of the 3 gods poured into Rayquaza's body. Let Rayquaza's energy completely burn up. Ho ho ho. The arrogant Rayquaza once again used the tyrannical Dragon Ascent. Next second, the turbulent current is surging, and the green light is violent. Facing the impact of Rayquaza's extreme speed and unparalleled domineering, Groudon and Kyogre simply couldn't fight back. Boom. Rayquaza once again carried the Thunderbolt, knocking off Groudon and Kyogre again. Immediately was knocked back hundreds of meters. There is nothing that one shot of Dragon Ascent can't solve. If it doesn't work out, try again. Roar. With 2 consecutive Dragon Ascent shots, Groudon's lava armor shattered. The ferocity in his eyes is no longer there. Woo. Kyogre's body is lurking in the sea, with only a pair of eyes exposed. His eyes were full of fear towards Rayquaza. Seeing the 2 younger brothers, he finally calmed down. Rayquaza is high in the air again. looking down on two Pokemon. Make a high-pitched, clear dragon chant. Wanton display of its domineering attitude. Rayquaza's dragon cry is an order for two Pokemon. Woo. Kyogre gave Groudon a deep look. Even if he was unwilling, he couldn't resist Rayquaza's long way. Turn over and dive into the sea. Return to his trench to sleep. Roar. Groudon also cast an angry look at Kyogre, his old enemy. Then he staggered and walked towards the other side. After all, he can't fly. Only by foot. Return to sleepy Mount Chimney. The back view is 3 points bleak and 7 points helpless. Dive back to the bottom with Kyogre, and the Groudon walk back to Mount Chimney. This change in the Hoenn region can be regarded as temporarily over. Rayquaza. Mew Lin caressed the scales on Rayquaza's body, feeling a strange sense of familiarity in his heart. As if it wasn't the first time I rode Rayquaza. Other than that, in the battle just now, when the 3 divine powers were poured into Rayquaza's body, Mew Lin felt that he was in his heart, and Rayquaza seemed to have formed a bond. Feeling Mew Lin's thoughts, Rayquaza swayed the 100-meter body. He flexibly turned the faucet, stared at Mew Lin, and telepathically said, "The inheritor. You can't remember what happened between you and me. It's normal. When you are truly awakened, you will understand. Continue to become stronger, the fateful covenant between us. It hasn't been turned on yet. Really awakened? The covenant of fate?" Mew Lin muttered to himself repeatedly. What Rayquaza just said revealed 2 important pieces of information. The time has come. You will understand naturally. Rayquaza did not explain, but went up and down towards the ground. As Rayquaza falls from the sky, it gets closer and closer to the ground. Pokemon by Wallace et al. Lower their heads. Some relatively weak Pokemon can't bear Rayquaza's dragon power. Beg your own trainer, take yourself back into the baby ball. Automatically, Hoenn elites around. One after another avoid Rayquaza. When Mew Lin jumped off Rayquaza, Rayquaza activated telepathy, the inheritor. You can call me through that stone if you need to. Well, see you next time. The stone in Rayquaza's mouth. It was the colorful stone that Zinnia of the Meteor Clan handed over to Mew Lin, who injected the power of the 3 gods. Mew Lin waved his hand. Goodbye. Afterwards, Rayquaza swung the 100-meter body. Disappeared above the sky. Back to his own ozone layer. Wait until Rayquaza's figure completely disappears. The dragon power that filled the sky disappeared, and the surrounding Pokemon returned to normal. Wallace, Cynthia and others also all surrounded them. Mew Lin Professor. Thank you. You saved Sootopolis City, you saved Rerum region. Wallace stepped forward, held Mew Lin's hand tightly, and thanked him. Yes, thank you Mew Lin Professor. Thanks to Mew Lin Professor this time. The rest of the Hoenn elites all smiled and thanked Mew Lin. By the way, Sleepy, you tamed Rayquaza? After chatting for a few words, Steven spoke. Mew Lin thought for a moment, then said, it's not really subdued. It may be more accurate to use recognition. In trainers' eyes, taming means using baby balls. Include Pokemon in it. But Rayquaza is the top-level god. How could it be condescended to be in a baby ball? But, to some extent, Mew Lin did subdue Rayquaza. After all, another criterion for subduing, it is to establish fetters in the hearts of both parties. When the 3 gods of Mew Lin merged into Rayquaza's body, the bond between the 2 parties has been formed. Moreover, Mew Lin can also pass through the colorful stones. Come summon Rayquaza. Able to be recognized by Rayquaza. This is not an easy thing, Steven said with emotion. Afterwards, I had a few polite words with everyone. Everyone goes to work on their own. Wallace, with the Elite 4, goes after Groudon. While Groudon was driven back to Mount Chimney by Rayquaza. But the problem is, Groudon can't fly, can only go back on foot. Wallace is ahead of his way at Groudon. Evacuate people. So as not to cause casualties to the public, Steven took a group of gym owners. Started working on a series of reconstruction issues for Sootopolis City. Alder who came to help. It is said that something happened in the Unova region and he needs to deal with it. Also hastily returned to the Unova region. Mew Lin and Cynthia are fine. Anyway, I came to Hoenn region. Why don't you just take a tour here? They found a hotel and stayed there. In the sky pillar, touch that orb of light to get to the top. Under heavy pressure, Mew Lin walked up step by step. I was sweating a lot, and my body smelled like sweat. As soon as I got to the hotel room, I immediately went to take a shower. Wait for him to take a shower later. Be sure to question him. It's only been half a month, and he actually subdued Lugia. Look at how many secrets he still has that I don't know. Cynthia thought to herself. just when Cynthia was thinking about how to interrogate Mu Lin. Mu Lin also just finished taking a shower, wrapped in a bath towel. Showing off her perfect 8-pack abs, she came out of the bathroom wiping her hair. Water in the hair, slipping off the scaly abs. Damn, it's so beautiful. Cynthia swallowed unconsciously when she saw Mu Lin's wet body. All of a sudden, he made up his plan to interrogate Mu Lin just now. Throw it out of the sky. Baby, I didn't find a hairdryer in just now. Call the front desk for me and ask where they keep the hairdryer. While wiping his hair, Mu Lin walked towards Cynthia who was sitting by the bed. Damn it. Cynthia snatched the towel from Mu Lin's hand and threw it aside. Not polite at all, pressed Mu Lin on the bed. His face was slightly red, and he pretended to be vicious and said, "This is a hotel. Please respect the hotel. A hairdryer or something is not important at all." After finishing speaking, he did not give Kunda a chance to speak. Anthracene. Well, next morning. Came to the Hoenn region. How could it be possible not to take a stroll? Mu Lin and Cynthia riding a flying Pokemon. Went to the famous tourist city in Hoenn region, Slateport City. Mu Lin's Lugia is too eye-catching. Riding is Cynthia's Garchomp. Under the leadership of Cynthia. Found a well-known local dessert shop. Baby, here it is. Cynthia skillfully handed the menu to the building. She has difficulty choosing, so she doesn't want to order. Mu Lin took the menu casually and said to the waiter, 1 serving of cocoa taro puree. Mango smoothie. Yangji ganlu. Cheese tart. Original donuts. Ordered a range of items, all Cynthia's sweet tooth. Baby, you understand me best, Cynthia said with a smile. Hey, you are also really good. Eating so many sweets, I'm not afraid of gaining weight. Mu Lin was a little speechless for Cynthia. Sweets are calorie bombs. Your baby, I'm just gifted. Cynthia said while waiting expectantly for the food to be served. Alright, you are the best, Mu Lin said angrily. Perhaps as Cynthia said, she is really talented. She loves to eat so many sweets, and I don't see her gaining weight. The waist that is grasped gracefully, and the slender face. If the full score of the figure is 10, Mu Lin would give her 11 points. 1 more point, not afraid of her pride. Come up. Cynthia looked at the table full of sweets. Take a sip. This cocoa taro puree is absolutely amazing. Hey baby, is your original donut delicious? After finishing speaking, Cynthia didn't wait for Mu Lin to agree. He directly grabbed the donut that Mu Lin took a bite of, and took a bite. Puffing his cheeks, he said, sweet but not greasy. Fluffy and fluffy, just like eating cheesecake. Eat as much as you like. Mu Lin put the donuts on the table. Pass it to Cynthia. For this pure sweet treat. Not very feeling. Still love meat. This kind of big steak is the favorite of hunks. While eating, I accidentally looked up. I saw the waiter turn the TV to the news station. On TV, host is broadcasting Groudon's whereabouts. After a day and a night of walking, the god of the earth, Groudon, has traveled from Sutopolis City to the outskirts of Zihibus City. Wallace, champion of the Alliance, leads the citizens of the Elite Four on their way to defeat Groudon. This is the Alliance expert team, which speculates on Groudon's next route. People who live near the route, please do avoidance work in advance. The latest situation of Groudon, this station will continue to report. Watching Groudon, step by step towards Mount Chimney. Mu Lin thought it was funny for a while. It is estimated that Kyogre returned to the bottom of the sea early to sleep. Groudon can only walk on 2 legs, the same as the ground system. Garchomp, Gligar, Flygon can all fly. As a beast, Groudon can't fly. I am ashamed of the name of the beast. Groudon. Don't ask me why I can't fly, because I love this land deeply. After a full meal, Mu Lin and Cynthia are arm in arm. Walk the streets of Slateport City. Look here, wander there. A sweet look between a young couple, passing by a large women's clothing store. Mu Lin seemed to think of something. Then he pulled Cynthia and walked inside. To take her there to buy things, Cynthia said suspiciously, we won't stay in Hoenn region for too long. And I have enough clothes. No need to buy clothes. Mu Lin coughed with dodge eyes, cough cough. Women's clothing store, we don't have to buy clothes or anything. You can buy something else. Buy something else. Cynthia had a black question mark on her face. That's right. Mu Lin touched his nose and said, isn't the weather getting colder soon? Buy some stockings and prepare. When Cynthia heard it, she immediately understood. The way I know it. Poked Mu Lin and said, you just want to buy some high silk, right? What are you talking about? Mu Lin said righteously, hey, no, put it aside. The main reason is that the weather changes too fast. Are you afraid that you will catch a cold? HMPH, Cynthia snorted softly. Just pretend to be you. I have seen through your appearance a long time ago. Being dismantled, Sleepy Rin simply said, then. Shall we go in and have a look? A pair of, I don't pretend anymore, it looks like I have a showdown. Let's go. Cynthia took the lead. Coming out of the women's clothing store, Mu Lin took a big bag in his hand. Look at the contents of the bag. Feel full of happiness. In a better mood, he said proudly, I'll treat you to a delicious meal later. Cynthia gave Mu Lin a blank look. Man? Take it easy. When the two were walking towards the hotel, Cynthia suddenly thought of something. The half-month of parting with Mu Lin harvested Lugia. Even rode a Rayquaza, although she is not as good as Mu Lin. But there are also rewards. Follow the address provided by Mu Lin. Found Garchomp's Mega Stone. After training, Garchomp also completed Mega Evolution. Baby shouldn't have thought that I already got Garchomp's Mega Stone. Maybe I can surprise him. An idea is born. Hotels in Slateport City. Mu Lin is eating a fat steak. Chewing a steak with moderate firmness. The aroma of meat blooms in the mouth. Feel a burst of contentment. I ate so many sweets with Cynthia. I'm really tired. And Cynthia, eating lobster baked with cheese elegantly. Put the shredded cheese wrapped in lobster into your mouth. Looking at Mu Lin with her chin on her side. Baby. When you are free, let's fight against Encore. Battle? Mu Lin chewed on a piece of steak. Some ambiguously replied. But for the battle, it's better to have some extras. Otherwise you won't be able to cheer up. Then what do you want to add to your hair? Cynthia blinked her beautiful eyes. Mu Lin thought for a while and remembered that she was in a women's clothing store today. Saw a set of Teddiursa one-piece pajamas. Cynthia must be cute when she wears it. It seems good to have a role play. He opened his mouth and said, let's do it. If I win, what will I buy and what will you wear? Cynthia turned her eyes when she saw Mu Lin. Just know what he is thinking. But I am also happy to try Mu Lin's new gadgets. Immediately agreed. No problem, if I win, you can do whatever I ask you to do. Mu Lin put his hands in the air. Then it's done. High fives. Okay. Cynthia also stretched out her hand and shook it with Mu Lin. After dinner, the two came to the Pokemon Center and opened a battle room. In the fighting room, the two stood apart. You know everything about me. Which Pokemon do you want to fight against me? Mu Lin hurriedly said. I want to end the battle quickly. Then, while the women's clothing store was still open. Bought that Teddiursa jumpsuit. Wait. Let me think about it first. In order to win this time, Cynthia began to think. Darkrai can't. That dark hole trick is a rogue. Cynthia who suffered once. I don't want to face Darkrai, who has a weird fighting style. That little Lugia doesn't seem very strong. But he should be the same as Darkrai, have their own exclusive skills. After thinking about it, Cynthia still thinks that Mu Lin's Lucario is the best bully. On attribute, Garchomp's Groundline also counters Lucario. Then he said, I choose Lucario. Xiao, right? Mu Lin Solacean pulled out the baby ball, released Lucario. Xiao you, I'll leave it to you later, Luca. Lucario called out, his eyes focused on fighting intent. Decide on rival. Cynthia also throws baby balls. Come out, Garchomp. Roar. Garchomp stared sharply at rival. Although the two Pokemon have known each other since childhood. However, it was the first time that they had fought each other. Both sides are full of fighting spirit. At the beginning of the battle, Cynthia was full of confidence. Baby. This time, it must be me who wins, is it? Mu Lin smiled lightly, waiting for Cynthia to make a move. Although in front of myself, Cynthia often shows the side of a little woman. But to be the champion of Sinnoh, you will never be an underdog. Cynthia is so confident. Absolutely not just because of the advantages of attribute. There should be more support. As if in response to Mu Lin, Cynthia pulled back her sleeves. The Mega Ring inside is revealed. Pressed a button above. Shouted. Garchomp, Mega Evolution, roar. Garchomp's figure began to change rapidly. In less than 3 seconds, the Mega Evolution is complete. The size of Mega Garchomp. Taller than before Mega Evolution. 5 pairs of white bone spurs grew on both sides of the abdomen. It also has a pair of red spikes growing from its knees. Compared with before, the overall momentum is sharper. All parts of the body. It seems that they are all modified for the purpose of causing damage. Oh, I didn't expect you to find the Mega Stone of Lialu Shark so quickly. The corners of Mu Lin's mouth raised a beautiful arc. That's right. Cynthia said confidently, you told me the clue last time. As soon as I got back to Sinnoh region, I immediately started looking. From the day I got the Mega Stone, I trained secretly with Garchomp for 10 days. Because of being able to Mega Evolution, Garchomp's combat power has increased by at least 30%. Your Lucario is no match for my Mega Garchomp. Seeing such a confident Cynthia, Mew Lin smiled even more. Why do you think so? My little OU doesn't know how to Mega Evolution. The voice fell. Lucario shouted. The soaring aura emanated from his body. Almost instantly, he entered the form of Mega Evolution. What? Your Lucario can also Mega Evolution? Cynthia opened her beautiful eyes and looked at Mew Lin in disbelief. Mew Lin shrugged. Disapprovingly said, isn't it just Mega Evolution? Is it difficult? Seeing Lucario for a split second. This completes the Mega Evolution form. Obviously, Lucario has long adapted to the form of Mega Evolution. Cynthia's whole body is numb. I thought, Garchomp could Mega Evolution. Can pretend to be a wave in front of Mew Lin. Unexpectedly, Mew Lin showed her face with a backhand. Your Lucario. When did you learn Mega Evolution? Cynthia said that it was difficult to accept. Mew Lin thought for a while, and said honestly, it's been a while. Damn it, Lucario can Mega Evolution, you didn't tell me. Cynthia is itching for Mew Lin, you didn't even ask me. Also, Mega Evolution isn't such a big deal. Mew Lin shrugged, showing disapproval. If Cynthia knew that Lucario also mastered Z moves, it is estimated that they will be even more surprised. Cynthia. Nothing great about Mega Evolution? You know, that's Mega Evolution. Evolution beyond evolution. But Cynthia thought back, Lucario who can Mega Evolution. It seems that it is not very remarkable. After all, Mew Lin has 2 other Pokemon. One is a rare Eudemons. The other one is a divine beast with boundless potential. Even the not that long ago, rode the Rayquaza. A mere Mega Evolution, for Mew Lin. Nothing really amazing. Hateful. It was installed by him. Cynthia said that the full score of the cup is 100 points. She gave Mew Lin 200 points, seeing Cynthia's depressed look. Mew Lin reminded. Garchomp should be just getting used to it, Mega Evolution didn't take long. The time for Mega Evolution should be maintained, not too long. Are you sure you want to continue talking like this? Cynthia took a quick look at Mega Garchomp. Compared to Lucario who was used to Mega Evolution earlier. Garchomp Mega Evolution can't last long. Putting away all kinds of thoughts in my mind, I issued an offensive command. Garchomp, use double selection. Roar, Garchomp, already ready to move. Behind spit up a white gas. Wielding the death scythe in his hand. Attack on Lucario. Enter Garchomp in Mega Evolution form. The speed is much faster than before. With the speed of the wind, he almost rushed in front of Lucario. Mew Lin didn't care about this. Xiao OU, use quick attack to dodge. Arcs flashed from Mega Lucario. Before the attack strikes, leap to the side. Easily dodged the attack. Garchomp, strengthened by Mega Evolution, is indeed fast. But also because of not being able to adapt to Mega Evolution. Unable to move around in short distances. Causes Smackdown to hit empty. After a perfect dodge, Mew Lin was not in a hurry to make a move. Just look at the lock-on battle situation. Wait for Cynthia's move. Knowing that Garchomp Mega Evolution can't last too long. Cynthia made a quick move. Garchomp, Earthquake. Face the sensitive Lucario. It is the best way to use a large-scale earthquake. Roar, Mega Garchomp stomped on ground hard. Use your feet to arouse the ground energy. The ground is cracked inch by inch. Contains a crack of the rich ground system, headed towards Lucario. In this regard, Mew Lin just said lightly, Xiao OU, use Detect to avoid. Detect is a skill of the fighting department. Gather your spirit and judge the opponent's flaws when making a move. To dodge the opponent's attack, Lucario's eyes were burning, watching the engulfing rift. Appears to be indistinguishable in earthquake. Lucario sees a hint of room to dodge. Use short-distance flexible flashing and maneuvering. Jump repeatedly. Dodge the attack of the large area skill earthquake. Damn it, Mew Lin just wants to stall for time. Wait until Garchomp can no longer maintain the Mega Evolution form, and then take the opportunity to leave. Through these 2 rounds of fighting, Cynthia understood Mew Lin's thoughts. For Cynthia knows her plan. Mew Lin was not surprised. First of all, Cynthia is the champion of Sinnoh region. Has good tactical skills. Coupled with the close relationship between the two. Isn't it easy to guess what the other person is thinking? But so what? Mew Lin is using Lucario, who is more adaptable to Mega Evolution than Garchomp, to delay time. After fighting for 10 rounds in a row, Mew-Lin let Lucario avoid the fight. If you can't hide it, use the defensive skill Protect. Then distance yourself. Roar, with the passage of time, strong energy loss. Can no longer maintain Mega Evolution form. At this time, it is time for Lucario to exert his strength. Use your own strengths to attack the enemy's weaknesses. Under repeated blows from Mega Lucario, Garchomp was finally defeated by Mega Lucario's strong attack. The battle is over. Cynthia just recovered Garchomp with a baby ball. Then Mew-Lin took her hand and pulled her out. While walking, he said excitedly, while the women's clothing store is still closed. Hurry up, facing Mew-Lin who is in such a hurry. Cynthia rolled her eyes and let the other party pull her out. Okay, you have made plans before your relationship. No, you can't let Mew-Lin win every time. Even if you can't win in battle, you must win in other places. Cynthia regained her energy, pulled Mew-Lin with her backhand, and walked forward quickly. After deciding to go back, we must tidy up. Yohu. Sensing Xiaonizi's fighting spirit, Mew-Lin was shocked. Fighting back and forth is what he really wants. Happy times always go by so fast, with Groudon finally walking to Mount Chimney. Back to my hometown. This mutation in the Hoenn region. It can be regarded as completely falling Veilstone. Played in Slateport City for a few days. Mew-Lin and Cynthia also returned to their home in Sinnoh region. In the room, Cynthia is wearing a black dress. While comparing them in the mirror, they asked Mew-Lin, attend the Family Fate Contest conference. Does this dress suit me? Back in Sinnoh region, Cynthia was invited. Attend Jiayuan City, the annual contest to be a guest. Mew-Lin, who was on the side, was just about to speak up. Suddenly, a voice that had never been heard appeared in the brain. Real people. Did you ever hear my call? The voice in my head was very light and faint. And in a flash, it's impossible to capture the details. Neither is the system beep. Nor is it using the power of the waveguide to connect to the voice of the Pokemon's dialogue. Perceived Dao Mew-Lin's abnormality. Cynthia sat down beside him. He put his hand to Mew-Lin's forehead and checked his body temperature. Concerned smell. Mew-Lin, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling unwell? After Cynthia such a stir. Mew-Lin also reacted. He met her worried eyes. In order for Cynthia not to worry about herself, the corners of Mew-Lin's mouth curled up in a beautiful arc. He grabbed Cynthia and held her in his arms. Pretending to be in a daze on purpose to attract her over, he said with a smirk, "Hey." Caught by me, after finishing speaking, he reached out to scratch her itchy flesh. Ha 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 ha. Okay Mew-Lin, use this trick to fool me. Look at the trick, the vitals are attacked. Cynthia unceremoniously scratched Mew-Lin with her backhand. Afterwards, the two began to play happily. It was only when Mew-Lin fell silent. When he thought about the voice, he always felt that someone was calling him. To be precise, it should be a certain Pokemon. Calling him. Sinnoh region. Jiayuan City. Decorated with lights and festoons, there is a festive atmosphere everywhere. Here, the Family Relationship Conference is being held. Jiayuan Conference is an important festival in Jiayuan City. The local town hall, in order to attract tourists. It also spared no effort to spend a lot of money on publicity. Walking on the street, there are tourists coming and going everywhere. There are also vendors selling gadgets. Walking side by side with Mew-Lin in the street. Cynthia introduced. The family conference is mainly divided into two parts. First of all, Daeyong contest is held. The contest competition in Jiayuan City has slightly changed the competition system. The test is two Pokemon, performing together. In the last contest of the contest, doubles were also used. Secondly, after the contest competition, there will be a doubles conference. Randomly assigned teammates through a lottery. Team together to fight. This time we mainly attended the contest competition. As the Alliance champion of the Sinnoh region. In addition to coordinating the Alliance's affairs, Cynthia occasionally attends such occasions. As the famous history professor of Sinnoh region and Cynthia's fiance. Jiayuan City took advantage of the opportunity to invite Mew-Lin. Joined Cynthia as a guest at the contest competition. Mew-Lin looked at the vendors around with great interest. He said casually, "Perform at the contest conference, are you ready?" As a guest of honor, Mew-Lin and Cynthia are going to perform a contest performance. Contest show? No. Cynthia replied honestly. Forehead. You won't be there, so prepare to throw away 2 skills at will. Just fool around? Mew-Lin saw Cynthia's nonchalant look. Baby. Contest's mission. How about you come here, Cynthia said, charm holding Emu's arm. How could I? I originally planned to follow your command. But who knows that you are not prepared? Besides, I'm not Wallace. Mu Lin refused again and again. However, if the acting is too bad, others will talk about me too. Cynthia blinked her big eyes, begging on her face. Cynthia's cuteness is hard to resist. Mu Lin had no choice but to say, okay. But let me explain in advance. Don't blame me for screwing up. Alright, my baby is the best, absolutely won't mess up. After receiving Mu Lin's reply, Cynthia happily walked to a vendor selling headgear. He casually picked up a curl-eared rabbit earring and put it on his head. Zhao Han turned around. While fiddling with the earrings on his head, he asked Mu Lin, how is it? Is it pretty? Cynthia has a kind of royal sister fan. But after wearing this earring, it looks a little more delicate. Facing Cynthia's expectant gaze, Mu Lin didn't answer immediately. An immediate answer would seem perfunctory. First, he carefully walked around her and observed her carefully. He said with certainty, it looks good. The yellow earrings match your yellow hair very well. It looks like your skin is very white. It also makes you look cuter. As the saying goes, women are those who please themselves. Cynthia was affirmed by her fiance. The mood is very good, showing a bright smile. Leaning in front of Mu Lin, he whispered. Why don't you buy this and buy a set of curly rabbit clothes to match? Encore role play? As your reward for completing the contest performance? Hearing Cynthia's initiative, Mu Lin immediately said, buy. A must buy. After speaking, he took out the money directly from the wallet. Pass it to the vendor owner. I bought this earring. For the encore role play. What about the contest performance? It will definitely be organized properly. Cynthia at the side saw Mu Lin in a hurry. He covered his mouth and snickered. While Mu Lin was paying for Cynthia's earrings, a soft voice came. Mu Lin, big brother. Mu Lin followed the voice and looked. I saw Dawn holding Piplup with a surprised face. Hello, brother Mu Lin. What a coincidence. I didn't expect to meet you here. Ash, with Pikachu on his shoulders, also greeted Mu Lin. Pikachu also waved hello, Mu Lin. Xiao Gang and the trio met Mu Lin. Brighten up your eyes now. Like a hungry wolf, when it sees a sheep, it bursts into a fierce look. Sister Cynthia, the earrings on your head are so pretty. I heard that this time, you will be the guest of the Family Fate contest. Is this the costume you prepared for the contest in advance? Dawn leaned forward and started chatting with Cynthia. Because last time, Mu Lin introduced Ash to Cynthia on the phone. Coincidentally, later a chance, Cynthia met several people from Ash again. Subsequently, Cynthia because of Mu Lin's relationship. A few pointers to Ash. Therefore, a few people can be regarded as acquaintances. Thank you, Dawn, your outfit looks great too. Are you planning to participate in the Jiayuan contest too? Cynthia said with a smile. Because of the outsiders, Cynthia returned to her usual royal sister fan. Elegantly chatting with Dawn. On the other side, Ash excitedly opened his mouth and said, Hugh. I've been training Pokemon the way you taught me. And during the battle, I also fought as you taught me. Thanks to brother Mu Lin's teaching, me and my Pokemon. Great improvement. Look, this is the badge I got during this time. I've got 4. Ash spoke excitedly, while pulling out a box specially used for last resort badge from his bosom. Show it to Mu Lin. Come on Ash. Mu Lin gave Ash an encouraging look. I will, brother Mu Lin. Ash was encouraged and his confidence doubled immediately. Getting ready to share with Mu Lin the experience of fighting during this journey. But Xiao Gang ruthlessly pushed him away, forcibly pulling Mu Lin aside. Xiao Gang rubbed his hands together and said softly, Mu Lin. How is the thing in hand? Mu Lin was a little helpless for Xiao Gang who was thieves and put his arms around his shoulders. I don't know where Xiao Gang got the strength to be able to pester himself. Let go of me first. Yes. Xiao Gang let go of Mu Lin with an apologetic smile. At this time, Mu Lin walked towards Cynthia who was chatting with Dawn. Pointing to Xiao Gang whose eyes were full of hope in the distance, he said, Cynthia, Kaluni's autographed photo. Have you got it? Cynthia was slightly taken aback. Then he looked at Xiao Gang who was nervous and rubbing his hands. He smiled and said, I asked Karuni to send me a few. After speaking, he took it out of his backpack and handed it to the building. As soon as the photo came into Mu Lin's hands, Xiao Gang snatched it away. Miss Kaluni's autographed photo. I finally got it. And so much more. Xiao Gang held the photo with trembling hands. Like a treasure. There were tears of happiness in the corner of his eyes. These are unique autographs. With these few photos, I can stand out in Miss Kaluni's fan club. Even, it is very possible to become the president of the support club because of this. Cynthia. Ash. Dawn. Pikachu. Pickup. Mew Lin shrugged at the speechless Cynthia. You see, I didn't lie to you. The photo is really for a friend. Cynthia gave Mew Lin a flirtatious look. As time went by, the contest competition in Jiayuan City started on time. In the contest venue, there are huge crowds of people. Wallace from Hoenn region spared no effort to promote the contest competition. More and more people are falling in love with the contest competition. This leaves budding contestants participating in the contest competition. Enjoy the treatment with celebrity normal. At the scene, many people held up lights, support your players. And in order to pay attention to this contest competition, each TV station even dispatched a luxurious filming team. Broadcast this contest feast. In the venue, the lights dimmed. Gather on host Vivian. Vivian's hosting skills are professional and sophisticated. It can be said that the important thing is heavy. She will be invited to host. Welcome everyone, come to the contest competition site in Jiayuan City. Clatter, the audience responded enthusiastically. Please allow me to introduce the judges in the contest hall. Contest Bureau Director, Mr. Konkantons. Sinnoh Region Pokemon Hobby Club President, Mr. Suki Saw. And the person our trainer is most familiar with, Ms. Joey. After introducing the judges, Vivian changed the topic. Except for a few important judges. This time, the contest in Jiayuan City specially invited Ms. Cynthia, the champion of Sinnoh Region. And her fiance, the prestigious history professor, Mr. Mew Lin. Let's give applause. The lights of the audience moved away from Vivian's body. Focus on a corner of the stage. The light hits Cynthia's stunning face. Match it with a specially matched evening dress to show off the attractive side of women. The tall and handsome Mew Lin is wearing the black suit prepared for him by Cynthia. Show the mature and handsome side of a man. Cynthia held Mew Lin's arm with her left hand, and her right hand was facing the audience, soldiers and civilians. The female is delicate and the male is handsome. A perfect couple. In order to give a sample to the contestants. We are honored to have Ms. Cynthia and Professor Mew Lin for us. Bring a visual feast. Next, let's applaud both of you. Give them the stage, Vivian said to the audience at the scene. Clatter, there was a burst of applause at the scene. On stage, Mew Lin whispered to Cynthia, release your rose raid. Cynthia knows that Mew Lin brought her rose raid last night. Secretly trained. Rose raid was released casually. Mew Lin also released Little Lugia casually. Get ready for the upcoming performance. But when Little Lugia was just released, immediately sparked an uproar. Countless spectators were all attracted by the appearance of Little Lugia. Is this Lugia? My god, this is live Lugia. Mom, I saw a beast. Oh my god, can subdue the legendary Lugia. This Mew Lin is amazing. No wonder he can capture the heart of the champion Miss Cynthia. It turns out he is a hidden boss. Listen to the exclamation of the audience. Cynthia's mouth curled into a smile. The reason why I gave the task of contest performance to Mew Lin. It's all because of Mew Lin's extremely rare Lugia. Just standing there is enough to open the eyes of the audience. Just use a few skills casually, you can fool around. Mew Lin didn't know what Cynthia was thinking. Just wanting to end quickly, he said, Silver, use safeguard. Lily, White Lucas shines from Little Lugia. Exudes a unique power. It calmed the restless hearts of the audience. Not long after, the audience fell silent. Mew Lin nodded to Rose Raid and Little Lugia respectively. Signal them to start. Then gaze into Cynthia's eyes. Sing softly. The wind suddenly blows and wrinkles a pool of spring water. Rose Raid understood. One red and one blue petal arms, facing soaring in the sky. Cast a move, magical leaf without attack effect. The green magical leaf is flying in the air. Then, Little Lugia faced the magical leaf falling from the sky. Whirlwind was resorted to. Let the magical leaf float in the air without stopping. Spring is in full bloom. The summer rain is boundless, and the free-flying flowers are as light as a dream. Mew Lin sang softly again. Following Mew Lin's opening, Rose Raid used a trick called Sunny Day. Little Lugia performed a rain dance. 2 skills, no offset. Instead, they merged with each other. The warm drizzle fell lightly from the sky. Drizzle, mixed with flying magical leaf. From the vibrant spring to the warm summer. At dusk and autumn smoke, the autumn moon draws crescent eyebrows. Following Mew Lin's opening, Little Lugia used a move, Sandstorm. Saffron sand, converging into the air. Attached to the green magical leaf, it turns into autumn leaves. Formed a wonderful picture of fall arbor covered with frost. Winter is like spring flowers, and the sky is cold and cloudy with clouds and snow. Rose raid, carefully control the autumn frost leaves. Floating on the ground. Lil Lugia followed closely behind, using a move called Ice Wind. Cover frost leaves with power or snow. Let the whole stage be like snow country normal. At this moment, Mu Lin walked into Cynthia slowly. He took her hand and sang to her tenderly. Send you the wind in March, the rain in June, and the autumn in September. It's snowing all over the sky, it's your wedding dress. Send you every dream, every smelling salts, the long-term companionship. Let the rest of my life be about you. 4 seasons for you. At this time, Cynthia was completely mobilized by the scene just now. Tears of emotion filled the beautiful eyes. Unconsciously, he put his head on Mu Lin's shoulder. The picture seems to be frozen at this moment. After a long time, the camp joined hands with Cynthia. Bow slightly. Audiences, this is like waking up from a big dream. Spontaneously stand up and clap your hands vigorously. The female audience even left tears of emotion and envy. The beauty of early spring, the boiling of midsummer, the bleakness of autumn frost, and the warm sun of cold winter. The scenes of the 4 seasons are like a dream. One last sentence, 4 seasons for you. Simply perfect. Woo. I also want a gentle boyfriend like Mu Lin Professor. What kind of performance is this? It's an expression of true feelings. The relationship between Professor Mu Lin and Ms. Cynthia is simply a fairy love. This bite of dog food will fill me up. It feels like I won't have to eat for the rest of my life. Waited for the audience to calm down for a while, and host Vivian came on stage. Mu Lin Professor and Ms. Cynthia's joint performance just now. I believe it left a deep impression on the audience. Let us give them our warmest applause again. Crash. Crash. The applause at the scene could almost overturn the entire venue. Enjoying everyone's envious eyes and overwhelming applause. Cynthia hadn't come out of the romantic situation just now. Looking at Mu Lin's handsome side face in a daze. Let you deal with it. I didn't expect it to be so romantic. Feeling Cynthia's tender eyes, Mu Lin turned his face. In Cynthia's ear softly. Do you like it? In Cynthia's eyes, there was a lot of splendor. There were no words to answer Mu Lin. Instead, tell him with actions. Anthracene, well, with a kiss between the two. At this time, the scene once again set off even more enthusiastic applause. The entire audience is wishing the couple well. In this contest competition in Jiayuan City, Cynthia is the guest. Show up on behalf of Alliance. Put on another show. Step it up a notch. Up the conference spec a bit, and that's enough. Being necessary all day, just being there. After relaxing, Mu Lin naturally took Cynthia with him. Play around Jiayuan City. It's just that although they are not there. But in the venue, their stories are still circulating. With Mu Lin's 4 seasons for you, Jules in front. The performance of the following players can only be described as tasteless. Tasteless. The audience watching was drowsy. With TV station broadcast. Many spectators who were no longer present also saw this scene. On the internet, it is even more popular with many self-media. Edited into a video release. On the hot search, several hot words also appeared. Hashtag Mu Lin and Cynthia romantic to death. Hashtag so handsome history professor, love love love. What's more, the resident champion of the contest is at Wallace. After watching the video, Wallace even left a message below the video. 4 seasons, it's you. On the forum, it directly ignited heated discussions on the internet. I never understood why Mu Lin Professor was able to abduct our goddess, Miss Cynthia. It's only now that I know that people are handsome, knowledgeable, powerful, and romantic. What woman is capable of his clutches? From now on, I declare that Professor is my idol. I will try my best to become a winner in life like Mu Lin Professor. Although the video is very romantic and shocking, but it's only me. Pay attention to Lugia beside him. Lugia. That's a mythical beast. Lugia? What is Lugia? Hoenn region Sutopolis city people come uninvited. Some time ago we had a battle between 2 super ancient Pokemon in Hoenn region, and it was Mu Lin Professor who invited Rayquaza. Does Rayquaza understand? Hoenn's supreme myth, Lord of Soaring in the Sky. To the Lord who exists in mythology, it's just such an awesome animal, being directly ridden by Mu Lin Professor. I'm going, it's too late. Mu Lin Professor is awesome. Early the next morning. Sunlight pours into the room. Cynthia wears bunny earrings and one-piece pajamas. Lying limply on the bed and sleeping soundly. The long legs rest on Mu Lin's body. Reminds me of yesterday's classic roleplay. Mu Lin gently got out of bed to wash. But this movement just happened to wake Cynthia up. Ha! Cynthia squinted her eyes and yawned, although she wasn't sleepy. But the beautiful eyes stared at her lover. Wake up. Mu Lin pinched Cynthia's small nose. No. I still want to lie down again. Come and stay with me, Cynthia Charm said. Okay. There is always nothing I can do about you. There was no way. Mu Lin could only lie down again. Cynthia rested comfortably on Mu Lin's arm. The small nose sniffed vigorously about his taste. You said. Baby. Let's get married. Mu Lin turned his head and looked at Cynthia's pretty face with a teasing smile. So hate to marry? Cynthia blinked her beautiful eyes and stared bravely at Mu Lin. It looks like I hate married women. Not getting married will tie you up firmly. What if I was kidnapped? Will you tie me up if you get married? Have you ever watched football? Even if there is a goalkeeper, can you still score goals? Mu Lin moved his face closer. Hate. Cynthia turned over, her back to Mu Lin. It looks like I have a little emotion, come and coax me. Okay. I was teasing you just now. Mu Lin stroked Xiao Nizi's arm with the stubble of his chin. Haha, it's so itchy. Cynthia couldn't bear the itching the most, and she couldn't hold it any longer. When do you want to set the wedding date? Mu Lin stopped teasing Cynthia, but directly asked about the wedding date. Cynthia turned over again and looked at Mu Lin seriously. Wait until I finish the championship ranking match. We'll get married right away. Mu Lin didn't hesitate, and said directly, okay. I'm going to change my mouth later. Husband. Cynthia's pretty face was full of red clouds. Wife, in the face of such a delicate little girl. Mu Lin couldn't help but kissed. Tired of Crooked for a while, it is also time to separate from Cynthia. Cynthia is going back to Lily of the Valley. Concentrate on preparing for the next world ranking competition. And Mu Lin will continue to travel the world. By the way, plan to capture the 4th Pokemon in hand. Remember, don't think of me too much when I'm not around. I can only think of Maine, 86400 times a day, it can't be more than I miss you. After packing her luggage, Cynthia spread her hands, and Charm wanted to hug her. Okay. Mu Lin sent a warm embrace. After warming for a while, Cynthia walked out of the room with her backpack. But just a few steps out of the door, he stopped again. Charm said, Husband, Kai. I want to kiss. Helpless, Mu Lin can only meet Cynthia's request. After all, it's my own wife, I spoil myself. Anthracene, well.